Hey guys.
We're back.
Woohoo! This is some juicy content. Yeah.
I love you guys out there.
Right?
Giving us so much stuff.
Right?
So I think last time we were talking about, it came up recharging ourselves.
Yeah.
Or, what do you have to do to be present and to refuel your soul, refuel your body. So I just wanted to touch base on that real quick. Like, what do you do? Do you have any, like, a day, or do you either have a day or something you do daily? Not like we know what your starting routine is, but something that you recharge yourself. Is it like a day? Do you do something each week? What is it for you? That gets you able to show up, like, on Monday. Like, do you do anything on the weekend?
I do. Now that I have more time, I'm really connecting, which is really cool. I'm going out, I'm dancing, I'm having fun. But then, like, I got to see my nephews 4 times in a week. Like, that's taking it back to looking at life through a child's eyes, just all that cool stuff. I do make sure that I have puppy time.
Okay.
You have Gina time, I have puppy time. and that just, in those few moments, like, the only thing that matters is playing catch and just sitting there, because it's just, I love loud music, so I love to turn up the music. I have, hey Les, usually in the mornings, Leslie and I will send each other just some crazy dance that we're doing to some song, and booty popping and shaking around, and just remembering to celebrate life, because sometimes we get so laser focused in on things that we forget to celebrate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. It's really, it's really interesting, I know that I started to share with you once before. Jim and I went to the Godfrey, remember? Yeah. So I'm probably going to cry telling you this about him, but this is how I knew that he was a good man. Is we were walking out, and there was a homeless man standing there, and he asked do you remember this? The guy was selling Pabst Blue Ribbon beer, and my friend had gotten extremely drunk, and we needed to take her home, and he was helping me with her, and I normally have to take care of my friends, and I love you guys, and I love you guys, and I'm fine with doing that, so that you guys can have your releases, but so we're at the Godfrey, and this homeless guy comes up and wants to buy a beer from you, and you said, first, I will be happy to buy your beer, but I want to do something with you. And the guy was like, sure. And you could tell this guy had been on the streets for years. And Jim was all dressed up because you had just come back from a fancy event thing that you were at. And he grabs the guy by the back of the head and puts his forehead to him. And he said, I want to pray with you. And you guys were like head to head, just praying. You had your hands wrapped around his head, and I'm just standing there in awe. And there was all these people watching, and the valet guys had gone up and grabbed the homeless guy's other beers in his hand. And when that happened, and I looked at the guy, and the guy came back, he's like, this is some divine stuff that's happening right now. I apologize that I even thought in God's presence that he was not watching me. And so then afterwards, you still paid the guy. And the guy said, no, you prayed with me. You don't have to pay me. And you said, no, I offered you money for your service, so I'm going to pay you. And you stood there and you shared that beer with that man. And I was like, we're standing in front of this place, and you're sharing a Pabst Blue Ribbon beer with this man, and you paid him. But here's the really cool thing, is how God speaks, is we continue to go out, and so we took my friend home, and I was trying to get her to get in her room, and you said, would you just let me be the man? I got this. And I was like, okay, God, what are you doing here? So he takes care of my friend, and then we continued to go out later on, and it was several hours later, several blocks over, we were getting out of a cab to go into another place, and neither of us had enough change to pay the Uber guy or cab guy. And the same, you guys, here's how God talks to you all. The same homeless guy came up. Are you remembering any of this?
Yeah. I mean, I remember the prayer for sure.
Yeah, so the same homeless guy came up, and he had $3 in his pocket. And he was like, let me pay for your ride. And I just stood there. I was like, wow. And you said, no, go in and get some change. So I ran in and got change. And he literally stood out there for over 20 minutes and just talked to that guy and just had a conversation with him. And I was like, okay, no matter what goes on, I know that there is all kinds of divine stuff happening right now. And then we went in and we had a really deep, cool conversation that night. And it was just like, wow. So the health of everyone, like that homeless guy, and I asked him, I said, are you homeless because you want to be, or are you homeless, because you choose to be? Or he goes, I love the streets. Like, it was his choice to be on the streets, which I thought was a whole nother interesting thing, And so you honored that man's mental, physical, and spiritual health.
Yeah.
And that was like a game changer for me as far as when you said, do you want to do this show? I was like, absolutely. Like there's a whole lot of stuff going on with that. So I think that, you can honor people and love them where they are, wherever they are in their health and their life. And, So.
Yeah. I love doing that. Mm-hmm. I love being there for people, especially when it comes to their health. With that, I have to make sure that I recharge myself in order to do that. Because that's, like, I can give so much. Mm-hmm. So on Sundays, like, as far as that recharging, like, I'll just make sure, like, I completely disconnect. Mm-hmm. So for me, like, I have to completely, like, let go of everything. So literally I'll wake up on Sunday. I still go through my morning and daily routine. But then I will shut my phone off. I'll go to church at some point during the day. And then I just completely disconnect. I'll order like 3 or 4 meals and just have my whole like countertop, a buffet up on my countertop. And usually like that's like my so disconnected, and I just sit there with Gina and we just put movies on and I just don't leave my couch. And it's like that, like mentally, like it's like just erasing me for a day.
Yeah.
And I just be there, presence, pray, go to church, and then that's like, it sets my tone to be able to show up for people mm-hmm. and give them everything that I got, through the week. Mm-hmm. And I think that's so important from a health point of view, not only mentally, physically, and spiritually, like you finding something that re-energizes your body in order to show up. So from a health point of view, we have to understand that, we can be mentally and emotionally stressed, we can be physically stressed, and then we can be environmentally or chemically stressed in things that we're breathing, eating, mm-hmm. consuming. So we have to make sure, and you guys got to really make sure that you're taking care of all 3 of those things and looking on a daily basis, like how these stressors show up in your life. And then what are you going to do to, prepare your body in order to be able to tackle those stressors? Because we can't eliminate stress.
Right.
It's going to be there. And you can't manage it either because it's just there. Mm-hmm. So the best thing that you can do is prepare your body mentally, physically, and spiritually to be able to take on those stresses on a daily basis. So it's really important that you guys really look at those things. Because if we're showing up, if you're constantly fatigued or tired or you're having to consume things to show up and energize your body, you're not resetting yourself. And I began that journey. That's why chiropractic spoke to me so much. Was it's a way to be proactive and take as much control as you can mm-hmm. of your body mm-hmm. to prepare yourself for and where you want to be in life. So just really from a health point of view, really look at those things. I challenge you guys to sit down and look at what are those stresses mentally and emotionally, physically, and spiritually that you encounter on a daily basis. And then look, do you have steps in place that prepare your body on those 3 levels to be able to show up on a daily basis? Mm-hmm. So I'd like to hear, what is that for you guys that prepares you to do that? Because I love learning new things mm-hmm. and trying new things too, I think are really important. And then, how are you going to prepare yourself for the next 30 days, even if it's just once a week? It doesn't have to be something you do daily either. Everyone's different. Mine's a Sunday. So like my Sundays, that's what does, and that allows me to be 6 days a week. So I'd like to hear, what are those stresses that you have in your life? Mm-hmm. And then what are you doing to prepare for those stresses and when you go about doing it. And then, I think that what would be a really good idea, just kind of coming, is to start, because I know we had talked about like doing workshops and things like that. Then we can kind of like walk through what that looks like how are those stresses, so we can take what you guys are going to share with us and apply it, like how those stresses, and I'd be more than happy to do this, is then like physiologically how that affects the body, and then we can start sharing like tools and things that they can start doing and implementing, in their own life on a daily basis.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I would like to add on to that is not only hearing that, but guys, I want you to physically move your body. Like when you get up in the morning, just stretch, just move something, and don't just get up and just sit back down and start getting on your phone, just, go for a walk, something, but just start physically moving, because you may only be able to walk a half a block and then, your knees hurt or your back hurt. But I promise you that if you start making it a habit, it's going to let you walk 2-3 miles, but you have to start today. Where are you going to be in 5 years if you don't start today? You have no idea. You might not even be here if you don't start today. And I don't mean that to be mean or ignorant. And I'm saying this from a place of love, because I want this relationship with you guys, and I want this to grow. So start moving and start taking care of yourself, and you'll be really surprised. And then we'll be on this journey together. So yeah.
Absolutely.
So
take care of yourself this week. Workshop.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. We'll do it.
I'll let you know. And if you're not in Chicago or LA, wherever we end up doing it, let's live stream.
Sounds good.
Yeah, you guys up for that?
Let's do it.
All right. Yay. Okay.
So give us some stuff.
Yeah.